I'm picking up on my tarot archetype series with the High Priestess Collective. Um, and I'm gonna do the Devil in the same reading. Mostly because I feel like they're like really tied into each other at this particular point. So I guess this is a reading for both collectives. But yeah, so we got the Knight of Wands. I'm gonna take this side. Knight of Wands, the Six of Swords, the Five of Cups in reverse, and the Moon. There's like this growing understanding that this Knight of Wands figure, this energy that was kind of like moving like quickly and passionately and almost like by their own will, on their own whims through the energy, has actually founded themselves in a like safe location here. I think that for a while there was this kind of concept that like they were in this state of like yearning or longing or grieving something that they lost. But I think there's this kind of like mysterious understanding and growing understanding that they might not have lost anything here, which is kind of like difficult to like conceptualize based on the circumstances at first. But I think kind of like delving deeper into the situation here, the King of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I feel like they're like pretty emotionally satisfied. There might be this understanding that they do not articulate the full degree of their satisfaction, because that creates better outcomes for them. There's also this degree of like the type of communication that they share is like intended to have specific results, and those results do come forward even though the communication might seem kind of like immature or childlike. There's this understanding that there's something that's greater that's being built to, with the Hierophant here. Yeah, the Seven of Coins. It's almost like it's all kind of like investment into a larger picture, and it's almost like the it, um, the acknowledgement of the specifics, like a clear articulation of the path or the plan or really anything would just kind of like slow the progress and like prevent this energy from having the success that they need. But everything seems pretty planned out here, and in alignment. Eight of Wands, yeah, I think that's part of what allows them to kind of like have like this sudden um, uptick of growth with the Nine of Wands, the Eight of Coins, both in reverse, and the Ten of Wands. It's almost like there's like this very clear visualization of the tools and tactics that were made to disempower them. And although that they're like pretty ponderous, um, like the fact that they're so intense kind of allows for a clearer articulation of like what forces are at play here, and that like clear articulation of antagonization, or I don't know, whatever the fuck, is allowing this energy a great deal of fulfillment here. Like every time there's an attack, the hand that gets shown um, allows for justice to be enacted by like almost like closing that hole. It's giving penetration testing for real. Page of coins in reverse. Um, this has this energy that money isn't very important at this particular point of time, but like that is also a part of a larger understanding of the situation with strength in reverse. I don't think it's ideal, but I think that it is like low key necessary with the magician in reverse. It's almost like this dualistic understanding that like were the finances to be manifested in a different way, it would change the entire narrative, and it would like create different problems at this particular point in time. Yeah, with the fool, I don't think it's intended to be a long term thing, but it is very necessary at this juncture to just kind of like be chill. Um, yeah, about like articulating details of finances in a public way, and also just kind of in general about like kind of like working within the confines of this construct. And I don't even really think it is for like to flex or if there's any like um, emotional attachment. I don't think it's from a lack of like ability. It's not from like a lack of desire. It's just like a part of the plan for the present moment. Um, Even though it like low key sucks ass. Um, Anything else? Queen of Swords. The Star in reverse. Yeah, some people are just gonna get like um, spiritually shanked, bro. Cause they're just not even thinking about the shit that they're doing, bro. I feel like some people have been able to just kind of like walk through this atmosphere, um, untouched, and they thought it was because they were untouchable, and they're about to find out. Yeah, the Two of Cups in reverse with the Knight of Coins in reverse. I feel like they're gonna meet some kind of antagonistic force sooner rather than later that kind of requires them to like align themselves with a Saturnian structure of civility, because like bitch, you can't be doing all that. Seven of Swords with Seven of Wands with the Sun. Yeah, I think the defensive structures of the collective are going to be highlighted um, when there is more understanding of the types of attacks that were at play, and these types of attacks will become apparent when the attackers get attacked. Basically, it's going to be like a subversive switching of roles. I don't think in its entirety, but just enough that like the illusions can fall away. Yeah, but the Eight of Wands coming through, I see that as like a swift, like almost like the wind knocking like clothing off of a line, and then you can see that someone was standing behind it. That kind of energy. And then without these like illusions in place, these people will have to find other ways to act, and that's going to really shift a lot of things in terms of like um, the energies that they were previously invested in. You'll start to see like a diminished. You'll start to see like that they have diminished support. And then if someone's following the money, which I don't know why you wouldn't be following the money. The best thing to do is to follow the money in this case, is to see, as certain energies are facing hardship, what connected energies to them are also struggling with that Five of Swords. It's almost giving the energy of like the Three of Swords. And the three swords and the two swords are different parties, right? The winning party and the losing party. Like if you start to count, like who is like, you'll be able to see who is aligned with who, in like this very like the specific cases of the people who are getting attacked, because there's like a direct correlation that you're noticing of the funds kind of diminishing for all involved parties, whereas other groups, they might be showing like the regular ups and downs of the financial economic bullshit, right? Ugh, fuck me, mate. Shuffled it the wrong way again. So I guess this is the end of the reading. Um, I mean, I did cut to the Emperor, Death in reverse, the Queen of Coins in reverse, and the Eight of Swords. So it does want me to like acknowledge that there are some people who are just going to be suffering financial losses just because the economy is shit. And I think the difference that you'll see is that like when these people are experiencing loss, they're able to work through it. Or you might not even like, it's in their spirit with the Eight of Swords behind the Queen of Coins. They don't act like they've felt any loss, because they've been steady in this Emperor energy, and nothing could really hurt that Emperor energy, right? So they might have financial hardship, but their energy is still kind of presenting as it always has. Um, Whereas, like, the energies I was talking about before, they're gonna be like, I don't know. You can see it in their eyes, bro. When somebody is broke and they feel broke because they're broke, as opposed to someone who doesn't have money and they just know it's a part of like the ups and downs of life, right? Um, like people who were doing well there's some of them that are going to start acting broke. You know what I mean? Um, Whereas like there's people who don't have money who are just going to be still having like a rich aura. And I think that will be heavily seen like more so in a long term. So there is this energy of not like pocket watching people to like shit on them in this immediate time, but it's just like something that is like going to be observable. So it'd be foolish not to like act like it's not observable. Just use your discernment is what I'm kind of getting. Um, because we all go through shit, right? And sometimes the shit is like orchestrated. But I think the energy here is like the orchestrated shit is because of a lack of financial support from some weirdos. So